Well guys, it is officially that time of year again. We are gearing up for the summer of what normally is E3, where all these game companies come together and show off the latest and greatest games that they have ready for us, and of course games that they have coming in the far future that we probably won't see again for 3 years. Please show us Zelda. But as we officially start to get deeper into the month of June, we have to wonder what is up with Nintendo this year, what are their plans, and what exactly is going to go on. And I might actually have a time frame to when this Direct could actually take place after putting everything together and calculating deeply with my scientific methods and methodology, and I'm going to tell you exactly when this Direct is going to happen, or at least around the same time frame that this Direct is going to happen. The first thing I want to touch on is the fact that there's a lot of people out there that think that we may not even need a Direct for some reason, and let me just say that that's absolutely not true. We need a Direct. There's a lot of stuff that we just don't know about already within this year, like Bayonetta 3. We have not really any information about Splatoon 3, and we still don't know what's going on with Mario Rabbids. There's a lot of stuff that they need to touch on that's already still coming, even Mario Kart Booster Pass DLC. I know that can be just thrown out anytime, but we need to know more information. But outside of that, we really don't know anything else. I'm sure there's another big game, maybe even 2 big games coming towards the end of this year, and we still need more information on games potentially even coming next year. We need more information on Breath of the Wild 2, maybe even the next big Mario game coming late next year, something else to keep fans excited for the years to come, so we definitely need this Direct. But let me tell you why I do believe that there is a big Direct coming soon. Of course, I think a lot of us already are expecting it. It's just a little weird that Nintendo hasn't announced it yet. But let me kind of tell you why, and let me tell you when I actually expect it to happen and why I expect it to happen very soon. Now, Nintendo E3 presentations always happen around the second week of June. Almost always it's like this. And normally Nintendo announces these ahead of time in advance. Like normally around the end/middle of May, we get an announcement of what Nintendo's plans are for E3. But of course, with E3 being canceled this year, it does change things up a little bit. And if we even look back to last year, it was a little different than normal. Last year, Nintendo waited until June itself to even announce that there was going to be an E3 Direct showcase, which was kind of crazy. Of course, this was coming off of the year of no Directs really and no E3 showcase from Nintendo in 2020, so people were getting very afraid. But rest assured, Nintendo just wanted to do it just a week before. And that's how Nintendo really handles a lot of stuff. I feel like they don't want a big wait from their announcement of the Direct until the Direct. They want to kind of hit you with a boom, there's a Direct coming in the next couple of days, and then followed up by the Direct. But of course, this is a different situation. We're talking about E3 here, the E3 Direct, the summer Direct that's supposed to show us tons of games coming this year and even big games coming next year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was June 2nd of 2021 when Nintendo actually announced their E3 plans. Now, that was just 2 days into June, but it was on a Wednesday. There's a very good chance that maybe this Wednesday we could get an announcement for next week. That gives us about a week in advance preparation, and that makes sense for Nintendo standards. There's a lot of preparation and stuff that goes into events before Nintendo Directs though, and let's look at what happened. So we always get Indie Directs before the main Direct of the summer, and we got that in May already. We got a big Indie Direct blowing out all types of indie games and stuff, and that was almost a month ago, so that's set. Next up, we always get a Pokemon Presents or some type of big Pokemon information about a couple of weeks before the Direct airs. And guess what we got last week? Not a Pokemon Presents, but an in-depth trailer look at what's coming with Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Now, once again, this is all lining up. Nintendo Directs also almost always air live on Tuesday, which is very interesting. And I literally looked all the way back, and since 2015, it's always been Tuesday. 2014 was a Wednesday, oddly enough, but it's always been on Tuesday because this gives Nintendo the rest of the week to have Nintendo showcases with the Treehouse. You know, they have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to show everything else with the games that was actually announced during that Direct, and it always is a great formula for Nintendo. So if that's the case, Nintendo could very well announce their Direct very late this time, but also they could just announce it a week early. Tomorrow is Tuesday, a week away from what Nintendo would normally have their Direct at. And it would make a lot of sense for them tomorrow morning just to say, hey, there's a Nintendo Direct, big Direct next week. Get people excited so they can spectate and just let their minds run rampant of all the things that could be coming during this showcase. It would be a lot of fun to do that. And I think that's what's going to probably happen. Sometime this week, we should get an announcement for next Tuesday if Nintendo's keeping the same formula. We, of course, even have some leak and maybe insider information from Samus Hunter Hunter on Twitter. Samus Hunter actually posted today that the coming week I would describe as the calm before the storm, a week where Nintendo will get rid of the last of its old announcements and plan in order to let the next one go free. Launch/reviews of Mario Strikers and Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes previews, with perhaps the release of the demo. Now, this was to be expected. I don't think Nintendo's going to worry too much about a Direct this week. We knew this. Nintendo's probably not going to have a Direct this week anyways, but we could still get the announcement of the Direct this week, definitely. This week is just focused more on the actual releases of games, such as the release of Mario Strikers. That's kind of the big deal right now. So they're going to focus on that for this week. Of course, like always, save that big Direct for the second week around the middle of June. That makes a lot of sense, and hopefully it still is on Tuesday, because that would be very soon. Something else also very interesting that happened this morning was the announcement of a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe online maintenance scheduled for tonight. Of course, not every maintenance means that there's going to be an update. That is always a thing to keep in mind, but just come on. What's the odds of this timing? Like, this timing is just unbelievable. It's a week before what normally would be a Nintendo Direct. This just kind of makes a lot of sense, and if this is going to be announced very soon at a Nintendo Direct for Wave 2 DLC, they might want to prepare it ahead of time in case it's a shadow drop or releases the next day after the Direct or something. But this is something else that's just kind of proving that a Nintendo Direct is probably imminent. Any week now, we're probably going to get the Direct, and any day now, probably an announcement. Another thing to remember, Nintendo likes to steer away from other companies' events and other things that are going on within that same time frame, and Xbox and Bethesda is having their game showcase on Sunday, June 12th. So that really doesn't interfere with anything, and it gets out before Nintendo. I feel like they're always after everybody else. Sony's already had its State of Play, Xbox is having theirs with Bethesda on Sunday, June 12th, which means Nintendo could probably follow up after all of that on the following Tuesday, the 14th. Now, they are having an extended gameplay, kind of like the Nintendo Treehouse, 2 days later on the 14th, Tuesday as well. But I don't think this is going to really interfere with Nintendo. You know, there's normally always stuff going on afterwards. Their main presentation is on Sunday, and that's all that really matters. And of course, the Summer Game Fest starts this Thursday, the 9th, so that's not going to be in the way either. But right now, it just simply looks like we're waiting on Mario Strikers, and once that comes out, we'll be ready to see some new things from Nintendo and probably get ready for Direct season. So this is probably, yeah, the calm before the storm week, where we get to, you know, take our time to really just take everything in, make our predictions, and get ready for a big show probably coming up in just a week from now. But what do you guys think? Are we still going to get this Nintendo Direct announced very soon? Is it coming very soon? What would you guys like to see in this Direct, and what are big games that you're really hoping to see this year? Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Nintendo all the time. And like always, I'll see you on the next one. See you guys.